The year 476 AD stands as a monumental marker in the annals of human history. It signifies a pivotal moment, often cited as the definitive end of an era. This date marks the formal collapse of the Western Roman Empire. It was not a sudden cataclysmic event, but rather the culmination of centuries of gradual decline. This is a story woven from threads of internal decay and relentless external pressures. It is a narrative of an empire that, despite its immense power, slowly unraveled. We delve into the dramatic tale of how the greatest empire the world had ever known met its demise. This is the story of Rome's fall, a saga that continues to captivate and instruct us today. Prepare to witness the twilight of an empire. To understand the fall, we must first recall the zenith of Roman power. Imagine an empire at its absolute peak, a civilization unrivaled in its might and influence. This was Rome during its glory days, a true marvel of the ancient world. Its geographical reach was astonishing, stretching from the sun-drenched sands of Egypt to the misty shores of the British Isles. The Mediterranean Sea became little more than a Roman lake, connecting vast territories under a single banner. This immense dominion encompassed diverse cultures and peoples. This period, known as the Pax Romana, was an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity. For over 2 centuries, relative stability reigned across the empire. This allowed for remarkable advancements and widespread flourishing. The Pax Romana fostered an environment ripe for trade and cultural development. Goods flowed freely across vast distances, enriching cities and connecting distant provinces. Ideas, philosophies, and artistic expressions also spread, creating a vibrant, intellectual landscape. Rome's advanced infrastructure was a testament to its engineering prowess. Thousands of miles of meticulously constructed roads crisscrossed the empire, facilitating rapid movement of legions and commerce. Majestic aqueducts delivered fresh water to bustling urban centers. Grand public buildings, intricate sewage systems, and impressive bridges showcased Roman ingenuity. These structures were not merely functional. They were symbols of Roman power and sophistication. They stood as enduring monuments to a powerful, organized civilization at its height. The Roman legions, once the most formidable fighting force in the world, enforced this peace. Their discipline and tactical brilliance were legendary. They were the iron fists that upheld the empire's vast dominion. This was a civilization that defined an age, a beacon of order and progress. It was a testament to human ambition and organizational genius. The memory of this golden age would forever echo through history. Beneath a veneer of imperial grandeur, insidious cracks began to appear within the empire's very structure. These were not sudden fissures, but slow, corrosive forces. They gnawed at the foundations of Roman strength. Political corruption became endemic, eroding public trust and efficient governance. Emperors rose and fell with alarming frequency, often at the whim of the military or powerful factions. This instability bred cynicism and weakened central authority. Rampant inflation plagued the economy, devaluing currency and destabilizing markets. The constant need to fund wars and maintain a vast bureaucracy led to excessive minting of debased coinage. This economic turmoil hit ordinary citizens hard. An over-reliance on slave labor stifled innovation and economic growth. While providing cheap labor, it discouraged technological advancement and created a rigid social hierarchy. This system ultimately proved unsustainable. These internal weaknesses collectively weakened the economy and frayed the social fabric of the empire. The bonds that once held Roman society together began to loosen. A sense of decline permeated daily life. The once proud Roman army, the very backbone of the empire, also suffered a significant decline. Its effectiveness waned over time, a shadow of its former glory. Discipline eroded and training standards slipped. The empire became increasingly reliant on foreign mercenaries to fill its ranks. These soldiers, often drawn from the very barbarian tribes Rome fought, lacked the deep-seated loyalty of traditional Roman citizens. Their motivation was primarily financial. Mercenaries were motivated by pay, not by an inherent loyalty to Rome or its ideals. Their allegiance could shift with the winds of fortune or the promise of greater reward. This created a dangerous vulnerability at the heart of Roman defense. The vastness of the empire also presented an administrative nightmare. Communication was slow, and controlling distant provinces became increasingly difficult. Local governors often wielded immense, unchecked power. Disease outbreaks, like the Antonine Plague, decimated the population, leading to labor shortages and economic disruption. These demographic shocks further weakened the empire's ability to recover. The empire was slowly bleeding from within. As internal decay festered, mounting external threats pressed relentlessly against Rome's borders. These were not isolated skirmishes, but sustained existential challenges. The empire found itself besieged from all sides. Various barbarian tribes, driven by their own migrations, population pressures, and the allure of Roman wealth, pushed against the imperial frontiers. The Goths, Vandals, and Huns became names synonymous with terror. Their incursions were relentless. These tribes sought new lands, resources, and a share of Rome's prosperity. They were not always intent on destruction, but their movements often led to violent confrontations. The Roman military was stretched thin, defending vast borders. The Visigoths, under their formidable leader Alaric, delivered a devastating blow in 410 AD. They marched on Rome itself and sacked the Eternal City. This event sent shockwaves across the entire Roman world. The sack of Rome in 410 AD shattered the illusion of Roman invincibility. For centuries, Rome had stood as an unassailable symbol of power and permanence. Its fall to a barbarian horde was unthinkable. This event profoundly impacted the Roman psyche, signaling a new, terrifying reality. It demonstrated that even the heart of the empire was vulnerable. The psychological blow was perhaps even greater than the material damage. The Huns, led by the infamous Attila, swept across Europe in the mid-5th century. Their brutal campaigns forced many Germanic tribes to seek refuge within Roman territory. This influx further destabilized the empire. The Battle of the Catalaunian Plains in 451 AD saw a combined Roman and Visigothic force narrowly defeat Attila. It was a Pyrrhic victory, highlighting Rome's reliance on former enemies to defend itself. The empire was fighting for its very survival. The Vandals, another Germanic tribe, followed suit, sacking Rome again in 455 AD. This second sack, though less destructive than Alaric's, underscored Rome's continued weakness. The city was repeatedly humiliated. These barbarian incursions were not just military threats, they were demographic shifts. Entire populations moved, disrupting established Roman order. The empire struggled to absorb or repel these massive migrations. The constant warfare drained Rome's treasury and manpower. Resources that could have been used for internal development were instead diverted to defense. The empire was caught in a vicious cycle of decline. By 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire was a mere shadow of its former self. Its vast territories had shrunk to a patchwork of fragmented domains. The imperial authority was largely nominal, confined to Italy. The once mighty legions were now largely composed of barbarian mercenaries commanded by barbarian generals. These powerful figures often held the true power behind the emperor's throne. The emperors were puppets. The last emperor of the Western Roman Empire was a young boy named Romulus Augustulus. His name, ironically, echoed the legendary founder of Rome and its first emperor. He was a poignant symbol of Rome's diminished state. Romulus Augustulus was little more than a figurehead installed by his father Orestes. His reign was brief and utterly powerless. He represented the final flickering flame of imperial rule in the West. On September 4th, 476 AD, the Germanic general Odoacer led a revolt against Orestes. Odoacer deposed Romulus Augustulus, effectively ending the line of Western Roman emperors. It was a quiet, almost anticlimactic end. Odoacer chose not to assume the title of emperor himself. Instead, he sent the imperial regalia, the symbols of Roman power, to Constantinople. This act formally acknowledged the Eastern Roman Emperor as the sole legitimate ruler. This gesture effectively signaled the end of the Western Roman Empire as a political entity. There would be no new emperor in the West. The imperial throne in Ravenna stood empty. While the event itself was not marked by widespread destruction, its symbolic weight was immense. It marked the definitive end of over 1,000 years of Roman imperial rule in the West. A new chapter of history had begun. The fall of Rome was not a single event but a process, and 476 AD was its final symbolic punctuation mark. The empire had not so much fallen as it had simply ceased to be. Its long decline had reached its inevitable conclusion. While the Western Roman Empire crumbled, its eastern counterpart, the Eastern Roman Empire, not only survived but continued to thrive. This empire, often referred to as Byzantium, endured for another 1,000 years. It was a remarkable feat of resilience. Its capital, Constantinople, became the new center of Roman power and culture. Strategically located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, it was a formidable fortress and a bustling metropolis. It became the heart of a vibrant civilization. Constantinople's strong defenses, robust economy, and more centralized administration allowed it to weather the storms that engulfed the West. It maintained a strong military and a sophisticated bureaucracy. The East learned from the West's mistakes. Byzantium preserved much of Roman culture, law, and architecture. Roman legal traditions were codified and refined, most notably under Emperor Justinian. Greek became the dominant language, but Roman heritage remained strong. Its scholars meticulously copied and preserved ancient Greek and Roman texts, safeguarding invaluable knowledge. Without their efforts, much of classical literature and philosophy would have been lost to history. They were the custodians of antiquity. Byzantine art and architecture, particularly its stunning mosaics and domed churches, showcased a unique blend of Roman and Eastern influences. The Hagia Sophia stands as a breathtaking testament to their artistic and engineering genius. The Eastern Empire served as a bulwark against invasions from the East, protecting Europe from various threats for centuries. It was a vital bridge between the ancient world and the emerging medieval period. Its influence was profound. Its survival ensured that the flame of Roman civilization continued to burn brightly, even as the West descended into the so-called Dark Ages. Byzantium was a living link to Rome's glorious past. It was a testament to adaptation and endurance. The fall of Rome profoundly reshaped the landscape of Europe, ushering in a new historical epoch. It was not an end, but a transformative moment. The continent was irrevocably altered. The collapse of central authority gave rise to numerous new kingdoms across the former Roman territories. Germanic tribes established their own states, laying the foundations for modern European nations. The map of Europe was redrawn. Rome's enduring influence is still palpable in the development of languages. Latin, the language of the Romans, evolved into the Romance languages: French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. Its linguistic legacy is undeniable. Roman law, with its principles of justice, property rights, and civil procedure, influenced legal systems for centuries. Its concepts of equity and jurisprudence continue to resonate in modern legal codes. The rule of law owes much to Rome. The dream of a united empire, a single powerful entity governing vast lands, continued to inspire leaders throughout history. Charlemagne, Otto the Great, and Napoleon all sought to revive a semblance of Roman imperial glory. The idea of Rome persisted. Roman engineering, from its roads to its aqueducts, set standards that would not be surpassed for over a millennium. Its architectural innovations, like the arch and concrete, are still admired and utilized today. Their ingenuity was timeless. The very concept of citizenship, public service, and republican ideals found their roots in Roman thought. These foundational principles continue to shape political discourse and governance in the modern world. Rome's political legacy is immense. Even the calendar we use today, the Julian and later Gregorian calendar, is a direct inheritance from Rome. its influence permeates countless aspects of our daily lives, often unnoticed. Rome is everywhere. The story of Rome's rise and fall offers timeless lessons on power, governance, and the fragility of empires. It serves as a cautionary tale and an enduring source of inspiration. Its legacy is truly immortal. The fall of Rome in 476 AD was not merely the end of an empire, it marked the beginning of a new world. It was a transition from antiquity to the medieval era, a profound shift in human history. The world was forever changed. The lessons from Rome's decline, from internal strife to external pressures, remain remarkably relevant today. They offer insights into the complexities of power, governance, and societal resilience. History truly does repeat itself. We hope this journey through the twilight of the Roman Empire has been both informative and engaging. The story of Rome continues to fascinate and educate us all. Its echoes resonate through the centuries. What other historical topics would you like us to explore next? Share your suggestions in the comments below. Your input helps shape our future content. If you found this exploration compelling, please consider subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into history. Join our community of history enthusiasts. Thank you for watching.